Hey everybody, Jason Bermas here for WeAreChange.org, and today we will be discussing the latest developments in the Las Vegas massacre investigation. And let me tell you, there is a lot to talk about. Earlier this week on Tucker Carlson, a congressman from Pennsylvania claimed that he had information that was credible that indicated that ISIS had come from the southern border and was involved in this massacre.
Recently, I've been made aware of what I believe to be credible evidence or credible information regarding potential terrorist infiltration through the southern border regarding this incident.
Terrorist
Yes, sir.
connections.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what's the outline of that? What would that?
Well, that could be, well, let's face it, ISIS twice before the attack. ISIS warned the United States that they would attack Las Vegas, I think in June and August. And then after the attack, claimed responsibility 4 times.
Now, an attorney for the victims' family members took him to task, to her credit.
We've seen no evidence of a terrorist attack, and I will ask, with all due respect, Congressman, unless you have specific evidence to back that up, it seems a bit irresponsible to make that allegation. So if you do, or make that assertion, if you do have any evidence of that, I'm asking you right now to share it with us and tell us what that is.
And I say to her credit because there has been zero indication that ISIS was involved in this at all. However, it does seem like there is something else definitely going on. The problem is that this ISIS narrative seems to be being used to cover what actually happened. Now, the very next day, the Las Vegas sheriff gave yet another press conference, and he even addressed the congressman's question.
On that note, the Massacre Report representatives who went on national television last night to say there was evidence, again, evidence that ISIS used.
I'd like to see the evidence.
Now, that being said, he also appeared very distraught and nervous yet again. However, this time, Aaron Rouse of the FBI and the district attorney were not there by design.
That's by design. I asked him not to attend.
Now, the most notable subjects of this press conference were as follows. Number 1, the coroner's report would not be available to the public and it would have to be requested.
The results of the autopsy, the toxicology, and the pathology will be provided by the coroner's office. It's not a matter of public record. I realize there's litigation currently associated with the coroner's office reference this matter, but any information reference those 3 items will be provided by the coroner's office.
Nothing's adding up. It's been 4 months, as you said. We don't even, the man's dead. They said he's a lone gunman, lone shooter, yet we can't get the autopsy results.
It was confirmed that Paddock had lost a large sum of his wealth just prior to the attack.
I put out in the public space that he had lost a significant amount of his monetary wealth in close proximity to 1 October, and that may have a driving factor associated with it.
Now, this is interesting for several reasons because it may have given him motivation to do what seemed to be a large arms deal.
You enter the room. What do you see?
An armory.
An armory.
So many guns, so many magazines, stacks and stacks of magazines everywhere, just in suitcases, all neatly stacked against pillars that were in the room, all stacked up, rifles placed all throughout, all kinds of monitors and electrical equipment he had in there. It just looked like almost a gun store.
It was confirmed that nobody else would be charged in the murder of anybody in Vegas. However, there could be an indictment and an arrest with another charge in relation to the case.
As to any other people, the FBI has an ongoing case against an individual of federal interest. I will not be able to elaborate on that statement because it's a pending investigation. Any further information reference that individual can be provided by the FBI.
Now, one has to wonder if this involves Paddock's brother, who was arrested for child pornography in October, now that they have revealed that Paddock himself supposedly had child porn on his computer as well.
You will see that we recovered numerous photographs of child pornography.
However, we can't be sure, as the affidavits for these search warrants remain sealed. Now, I found it odd that the sheriff admitted that they really didn't investigate anybody but Paddock because he was dead in the hotel room. In fact, he even talks about bifurcating resources after they found Paddock's dead body.
This is a very heavy, intensive, resource-driven investigation. We had multiple crime scenes, and we have limited resources in all those units. But more importantly, the suspect was dead. It wasn't like it was a continued active investigation outside of any other players. The crime scene was static, and so the decision was made to bifurcate the investigative resources in order to conduct a complete investigation.
Now, there was a lot of evidence on the radio transmissions that there was indeed another shooter active at the Tropicana.
Okay, now I'm getting information of an active shooter at Tropicana. It is be advised now there's an active shooter at the Tropicana, active shooter at Tropicana.
Control 363, be advised we're getting multiple calls of active shooters at multiple locations.
Control 374, I got medics reporting that they're getting shot at in Tropicana.
And there's even more evidence of this as we see this SWAT team clearing the casino. And then we have this very descriptive eyewitness account from inside the Tropicana.
So shots were going from Mandalay, you know, they were really deep, really far, and then you can hear like a so we're hearing multiple shots now, and this was our first encounter to multiple shots. And we're running across the street, and there's a parking lot, Tropicana parking lot. So now everybody's going into Tropicana. We're going through the hallway. There's blood on the walls. You can see handprints on the doors. I mean, there is blood everywhere. There was a guy that was on the ground next to the wall who was bleeding, and he was dead. Shots fired in Tropicana Casino, and everybody's freaking out. And her and I, we heard them. They were like, they were totally different. They were actually ARs, and they were suppressed. And there were 3 bursts. 3 bursts inside the Tropicana Casino. People who were there inside will tell you that there was that, and that happened.
And none of this indicates ISIS in any way, but the sheriff did talk about regulating what goes over the police radios from here on out, but said it was in the works for over 2 years and had nothing to do with this event.
Before I close, I would like to address an issue a number of you have raised about changes to our police radio system. And specifically, if this will affect your ability to listen to our radio traffic. This change has been in the works for 2 years. 2 years. No relation to 1 October.
The bottom line is we're not being told the truth about Vegas, and there's a lot of evidence of multiple shooters at multiple locations. However, none of this indicates that it was an ISIS attack in any way, shape, or form, and I feel this is a road of disinformation that's being paved for the public. As always, if you like this video, please share it on social media. Hit that like and subscribe button. Follow me at Jason Bermas on Twitter. And if you can, folks, go to WeAreChange.org. Make that monetary donation. It's only through your financial support that reports like this one are possible.